Your podcast almost got me fired from work and ruined my friendships. G'day, Lewis. I've been listening for a few months now, and after getting a random Spearhead Sundays episode recommended to me and remembering you as that guy who was on an Internet Historian podcast and the guy with that one anti-vax video. Yes, both of those were me. I really blew that Internet Historian video, dude. I was so sick at that time of doing that, and I kept fucking around with the record times that he just like released an edited version of. We had to do like 3 or 4 different record sessions, and I missed a few. And then he ended up chopping the fuck out of it and released something else, which in hindsight I'm probably pretty happy about because I think I sucked because I was so sick and I had a lisp. I barely remember it. I've been binging your podcast at work and it's been great so far, especially with the reverse order of the playlist on the channel. Huh? You're listening to it in reverse. That's creative. I've been listening to it in reverse and hearing you apologize for all the talk about your chin, then hearing about it for 10 episodes and having you say goodbye to Rosie only for her to end up being in every episode after. As well as listening to episode 243 10 times. That's really funny. You're listening to it backwards. A teary goodbye to Rosie, and then so what you're going to listen to is you're going to hear Rosie get progressively more and more nervous as she gets less and less experience on mic. Your podcast. So you're going to hear me get really, really, really sick, and then slowly get less sick. But then also listen to me become more and more broke. That'll be a really interesting experience. Your podcasts have helped me get through my boring work, and it's been great. With that being said, recently there was an incident where it very much almost maybe potentially has the chance of getting me fired. Oh, nice. So I'm listening to the podcast at work. Ooh, that's a gamble. And for whatever reason, my manager stops me and asks her to show her what I'm listening to. If your lady manager asks you, what are you listening to at work? You put on some Coldplay and go, I'm just listening to Coldplay and having a giggle to myself because I thought of something funny that I did earlier in the shower. The only reason I can think of as to why she was doing this was because I was trying to hold back laughter while you were telling your Tasmania stories. However, she very much stopped me at the worst time. I got told to turn off Bluetooth and give her a listen. And as I do, you just get to the part of the story about suburbs in Tasmania and a woman's reaction to the suburb. You're an idiot, brother. Never play Spearhead Sundays out loud to the uninitiated. You share this show in a message and then you wait to hear what they say. You don't fucking blast it out at work. Are you dumb? I mean, the guy's playing the episodes in reverse, so it's likely. So as I press play from the phone, speakers... As I press play from the phone speakers, as I press play from the phone speakers, come you saying, she just freezes and yells, Rich C, and then louder, Rich C, then louder again, Rich C. At this point, I try to hold back my laugh because I have context for the joke, and that was very funny. But panicking and pausing the podcast immediately, my manager looks at me disappointed and then tells me to get back to work. Hopefully, we didn't have any complaints about the language because we were stopped in the middle of the store and people were very much staring. What are you doing? This is your fault. The second podcast issue occurred with a group of friends. You can absolutely get fired for that. Just fucking being like, oh, what are you listening to? And they're just like me screaming the C word about Tasmania again and again and again. This is your fault, dude. We were having this... the second podcast issue occurred with a group of friends after some dream drama. For those who don't know, essentially there was some beef on Twitter, currently known as X, where he made a meme going down splitting paths, either growing up or becoming a retarded Tommy Innit fan. I didn't see this image. Dream SMP fan, either growing up or becoming a retarded Tommy Innit fan. I don't understand that. We were having this discussion and I said, I see no problem with the word. What, Tommy Innit? I see no problem with the word. I guess the R slur. It's on a sliding scale between moron, dumbass, retard, and dumb, C, or fuckwit. Then we got into a conversation of if we even use the word. And I said I hadn't used it in a while, but that's purely because no one I'm around or the content I watch has people saying it. But I got nostalgic over an old Minecraft series, and the people on that server said it quite a lot, so I used that as an example. And when one of them wanted a more modern example, I brought you up. Give me a modern example of a philosopher saying retard. And you're like, well, have I got a podcast for you? Sure enough, one of them Googled the channel and saw the Trump podcast thumbnail and assumed that you were an alt-right style influencer. Oh, this always happens to me. People look at me and my haircut and they go, oh, Trump guy. No, I'm not. Well, look, when I'm an aspiring immigrant, so I am a big guy of whoever's in charge right now. I love Trump, and if he loses the next election, I love whoever beats him. Let me in. I had a meeting with an immigration lawyer, by the way. I'm going to talk about that on Patreon. It's very exciting stuff. That'll be the next Patreon episode, all about my dream to move to the States. Sure enough, one of them Googled the channel and saw the Trump podcast thumbnail and assumed that you were an alt-right style influencer. My channel does look like that, hey, if you just look at the thumbnails. But hey, those are the thumbnails that work. And then the Trumpies click on my podcast and they call me a fucking beta soy boy snowflake loser. Fuck you. I'm actually 6'8", 95 kilos. I am an alpha male. I hate to break it to you, but like all those caricatures of you drawing of Chads, that's literally me. I am who you fantasize about being about when you depict your opponent in an intellectual debate. Sure enough, one of them Googled the podcast style thumbnail and assumed that you were an alt-right style influencer, despite me saying that you only wanted the one with the less restrictive border policies to win, and you were just sucking up to Trump because you think it'll help get you into America better. Hopefully my friends don't care too much, but it would be very disappointing if my friendship with these guys who I've known for quite a while was ended for such a retarded reason. Yeah, they were like, hey, stop saying retard. And you were like, check out this Ben Shapiro video. You might be retarded, brother.